Hey guys, what's going on? It's Brian coming to you from the TST Industries garage. As you can see beside me, I have a 2019 Honda CRF450L. We've already gone ahead and installed our adjustable fender eliminator. We also have a prototype taillight on there for testing right now, but today we're going to be dealing with the turn signals. The OEM ones, we're going to be replacing them with our BL6 style pod signals. The installation is going to pertain to the BL6 signals specifically, but it will work for any of our pod signal styles. The installation's pretty straightforward, so let's just jump right on into it, guys. All right, so we're gonna start out with a 10mm socket. We're gonna have to remove the OEM seat and this fender back here, or tail fairing, however you'd like to refer to it. So using our 10mm, we're gonna remove these two bolts. You're gonna wanna keep those fasteners off in a safe spot, and at this point we could go ahead and lift up the back of the seat and push down and slide out. Remove that little tab there from the accepting feature on the tank. Set that off to the side. Then we're gonna grab a Phillips screwdriver. We're gonna remove the two screws that go down into the plastic undertail from this rear fairing portion. All right, so it's at this point that we're gonna go ahead and take these two fairings here in front of our tail fairing, kind of push them down and out away, and use one hand if you can fit it across, or a friend to help, and push forward a little bit, trying to dislodge. There we go. So what we had to do there is dislodge this little tab from the mounting region that it has right there by that taillight shroud. So we're gonna go ahead and set this off to the side now. All right, so with our upper tail fairing removed, we can go ahead and take this flap and pull it back. We're gonna wanna take our little wiring harness boot, pull that off of its little connector, and then expose the correct side to remove our plugs. So we're gonna take a small flathead screwdriver, lift up on this locking feature, and pull out as we do that. That is the first step. We could go ahead and set that back off to the side. We don't have to put it on its little holder yet. And we're gonna go ahead and pull off the backing plate to these signals, and then they will just be able to pop out, being that they're held in by rubber grommets. So you can start at the back, just kind of push your way forward, get that guy to pop out. Take that lock ring feature off. And then just go ahead and flex your signal through. So I'll show you that one more time, and then I'll repeat it on the other side. So this is typically holding the bike, or holding the signal inside the bike in this channel right here. So you're gonna wanna take the back of the tab, push forward. It'll start to lift away. If you have to, get in there and remove those little side tabs. And then after that's done, you can go ahead and pull it out of the front, out of that little accepting feature for this little push fastener there. So we can go ahead and slide that off, set these guys off to the side. Repeat the process on the other side. So slide down, forward, lock ring off, signal out. You just kind of pull out just like that. So if you ordered a BL6 style turn signal, you will have a BL6, a harness converter, CVH02, that's an add-on item to make this plug and play, and then our pod signal mounting kit, which will come with 4 of these little mounting plates here. So we're gonna wanna go ahead and start the assembly process here. So I'll set these guys down in a safe location. We're gonna take our BL6 signal, take the nut that is on the stem off. You wanna pull that down through, and then once you get to the bullet connectors, you will have to push these through one at a time. So pull one lead up a little bit higher than the other. Kind of see how I'm staggering them off. And 1 bullet connector and 2. And we're going to take those the washer and the lock washer off as well. And at this time, we're going to set those down. We're going to take 2 of our 4 mounting brackets here. We're going to throw them on both in the same orientation. So that's with the convex side out towards the signal, like so. We can go ahead and throw back on our regular washer, our lock washer, And then remember, once we get to the nut, we have to do bullet connectors one at a time, so stagger. Throw that guy on down there. Now we could go ahead and take our harness converter. We're gonna wire that up. So yellow to yellow, black to black. Make sure you get a good connection on those bullet connectors. They can be a little tricky sometimes. All right. So we're gonna take a little bit of electrical tape here. Just make sure that these little plastic sheaths that cover the bullet connectors on the harness converter actually stay in position. We don't want our leads crossing. That would cause a short and possibly blow a fuse. So I like to do one at a time. And then I'll grab the other one and wrap that one together. So there's my one. I'll grab the other. Set that in a position. All right, so you don't have to have a waterproof seal here. You just want to make sure that those little sheaths actually stay in position. So it is at this time that we can go ahead and take our signal. We're going to want to route it through the position where our OEM one came out of. Something to note here is just make sure that you do have the correct side signal. You're going to want the logo to read properly. So making sure that when the signal is facing towards the back, your logo is facing upward. Otherwise, you would have an upside down signal. They'll work the same, they just won't look as good. So we're going to go ahead and thread this on through, make sure that all of our hardware is in the right position. Then we're going to take one of these plates, keep one on the outside, and then another we're going to kind of slide through, and then taking this edge, we're going to want to locate that on the inside where that OEM one came out of. You can kind of see how it's going to start to sandwich down here. And throw our fasteners back down and grab that stem and start to thread on. Make sure that that little adapter plate on the inside is located properly. It'll start to bottom out. We can eventually get in there with a 13 or 14 millimeter open box wrench. But for now, we're just gonna get it kind of secured and in a general position. Make sure that the little adapter plate is covering everything that we want to. Make sure that our angles are correct. Still try to tighten down a little bit more before we get in there with the tool. So then we're gonna take that 14. You could just barely get a little bit of a turn on this if you angle yourself properly. You may want to resort to using some pliers or something, but I was able to actually use my open-ended wrench. So we're going to go ahead and take some of our excess wire. I like to just kind of wrap things up a little bit, tidy them up. We can take this excess, now that it's bundled, and kind of push it back into the extra location that we have over there. We're going to want to go ahead and take our left side signal, so we're going to go into blue, making sure to grab that lock feature. So you can see that. Give it a little tug, make sure it's locked in there. So we're going to repeat the process for the other signal on the right side of the bike. All right, so it's at this time that we're gonna go ahead and throw our other signal back into the proper side, left if you're looking at it from the rear. And we could go ahead and take this little boot here and slide it back over its accepting feature. And it is at this time that we're gonna wanna test out our signals. Left is left, and right is right. What you guys are seeing here is a hyper flash. Now that is experienced because the bike it knows that there is a non-OEM signal there, or in the bike's case, it thinks that the OEM signal is malfunctioning or that there's something wrong with it, so it is alerting you to that. We do have the solution for that, which is our flasher relay, and we'll be installing that in another installation video. Please refer to our website or our YouTube channel to find that. All right, so just before I do throw everything back together here, I do want to show you guys this Y-style signal harness splitter for a Honda. It's going to be a plug-and-play installation. It's going to allow you to run something like this integrated taillight, which does have a built-in turn signal circuit, as well as running something like a BL6, or maybe even those OEM signals if you want to run this taillight and the OEMs at the same time. So it's a plug-and-play installation, very straightforward. I'm not going to show you guys, I'll just show you the result at the end. So the reassembly is much like the way that we disassembled. We're going to put that flat back, grab our upper tail fairing. Remember to flex these guys out and away. You're going to want to locate that tail fairing over the back of the sub tray and subframe. Spread those guys apart. Remember, go past the bosses, locate that little back tab first. Kind of push down and back in. There we go. Make sure that these have located properly. These fairings do overlap, so just make sure that everything's in the position that it wants to rest in. There we go. Take those Plastite component screws, screw down into the subframe. Sub-tray, sorry. We're gonna grab our seat. Remember that little tab in the front, tabs here. They're going to locate up into the tank and then right there in that portion of plastic. So we're going to want to go back from where we think we need to start, pressing down and in. You'll kind of feel it drop down and locate. Then make sure that these little metal tabs don't hit your plastics. And drop those into their appropriate location. Replace those M8 screws. Always start these by hand. You do not want to cross thread your subframe. All right guys, so with our seat secured, let's do one last check of things here. So we're going to go ahead and turn the motorcycle on. We're going to check our left side. You can see that it is working properly. Just the pod signal is going to be activated here because we do not have our Y-style splitter on this side of the harness. But once I activate the right, you will see that both the taillight, the prototype taillight, and our pod signal are working together, which is something that you could do if you so choose. I've gone ahead and thrown a relay in this bike just for the purposes of this video. If you want to find that installation, please refer to our YouTube channel or the product listing on our website. As for any of these other things, if you'd like to pick up BL6 or learn more about our taillight or pick it up depending on when you're watching this, please visit our website at tstindustries.com. This has been Brian. I'll catch you guys next time.